Let me tell you a story. I am standing in my parents' restaurant in the back. That's where the kitchen is. Around this time, I'm still going to middle school, and it's around 12:30 p.m. I'm standing there, and I'm helping my parents make these appetizers called crab rangoons. For those who don't know what a crab rangoon is, it's essentially a cream cheese filling of like this appetizer, and it's deep fried on the outside. It's very good, and our customers love it. My parents, they like to make it themselves just because the food companies that we order from, their quality is like not that good. And obviously, like our customers really like it when it's handmade. This process generally takes like around like 2-3 hours. It's just like you're standing there, you're like helping to fold all like the square like wrappers into like triangles. So I'm standing there folding it, but the night before I've only had like 3-4 hours of sleep. So in the middle of it, I just feel like my conscious fading away. And like before I knew it, I was like laying on the ground, and like my mom and my dad are like rushing over to see what's happening. And they think that I'm just like super exhausted, and they just like give me like sugar water, making sure that I feel great. Afterwards, of course, I felt fine, but I think from that experience, you can see that this is the detriment of not having good sleep. By not having a good night rest, your body is compromised, and during the day, you're not focused, you don't have any motivation to do anything else. You lack the attention span to even watch a video or like even listen to teachers talk during lecture. And this just severely compromises your productivity and how well you can perform as a student. And so in this guide, I'm going to share some of the lessons and key insights that I've come across when I was researching and trying to improve my sleep, because I think this is the single like biggest leverage in terms of performance. It's like having a good night's sleep. So the first part of this video, we're going to talk more about when you should wake up. There's a lot of videos online showing like people getting up at like 5 a.m. or 3:30 a.m. and like 7, 8 a.m. That's good and all, but that's not how everyone functions. And coming from someone who likes to get up early in the morning, I know that not everyone will like really subscribe to that. My advice is to ask yourself, what time can you reasonably wake up in the morning for the rest of your life? I think that's a very good like guiding question, just to see that if you're becoming like very overly ambitious, or if it's something that's reasonable that you can actually attain and sleep and wake up with for the rest of your life. And so, like I said before, there's really no right answer in when you should wake up in the morning. It's much more of a consistency question, not rather than like a time question. I tested several waking up times in the past. It could be like as early as like 5:30, 6:30, 10:30. I tried a lot, and consistently what I found is I've been very, very proactive when I get up around 6:30 to 7 a.m. My single biggest advice for anyone waking up in the morning is to always get sunlight into their eyes. This was made popular by the neuroscientist Andrew Huberman. He's been a very big preacher about getting sunlight into your eyes, helping to reset that circadian rhythm, and to just really let the photons into your eyes so that you feel awake, you feel energized, and you're going to be motivated to do work throughout the day. Alright, now you got a good wake up time that you think you can consistently stick to for the rest of your life. Now let's talk about more about setting up your environment to making sure that you get the best quality sleep possible. This is just some general advice that I've learned throughout the years, and so I'm just gonna like really just like rapid fire shoot those advice to you. So making sure that you don't have your phone in bed, I think that's really important, because once those distractions come in, you're going to be spending hours literally scrolling in bed. And overall, that just decreases your sleep quality and the amount of times you're actually spent sleeping. My next advice is to get an alarm clock. In the beginning, once you like set the alarm and you have your phone as the alarm clock, it's very difficult, because once you hit the snooze button, or like once you get up in the morning too, your first thing you're doing is like going on your phone. And I think that's just like a very, very terrible way to start, just because you're like distracted and you basically just like letting the phone take control of your mornings. And then of course there's the general rule of like having blackout curtains, making sure that environment, the right temperature is set, just so that you're able to sleep comfortably and sleep like deeply too. Next up, I'm going to talk about this rule that I've came across earlier on. It's called the 10-3-2-1-0 rule. It seems a little complicated, but I'm going to go in and explain more about it so you guys have a general understanding of it. Essentially what that means is 10 hours before bed, you should stop taking caffeine, because caffeine has a half-life around like 5 hours. So generally what you should do is to stop consuming any sorts of caffeine 10 hours before you go to bed. The 3 means that 3 hours before bed, you should generally stop consuming any food or any alcohol. The 2 hours before bed means that you should start winding down and stop doing any of the work. And then 1 hour before bed is when you should reduce your screen time just to like not even look at your phone screen at all. I'm guilty of still looking at my phone after, but try and reduce the amount of screen time that you have. And then for the times that you are on your screen, just making sure that night shift mode is on. And the 0 will represent the amount of times you'll hit snooze in the morning. Alright, so you have the proper environment and you know what time you're going to wake up in the morning. Now it's all about having a good, consistent night routine. High-level entrepreneurs will always say that having a good, consistent routine is like pivotal to their success. So by having a proper and regimented night routine, it takes out the stress of needing to know what you have to do, and then you can just go to bed with a peace of mind that you're fully prepared for the day ahead. Setting one up is not difficult either. Certain things and making sure that things are in order. But typically you can start off your night routine by decluttering your workspace. As a student, that means your work area, your desk, and maybe if you're working in the library, you don't even have to worry about cleaning up your desk. But making sure that the area is cleaned will provide you that extra motivation in the morning the next day to do your work. And so now you finish cleaning up your living space. Now what I want you to do is to start preparing the things that you need the next morning. So if you're hitting the gym tomorrow, I would say having your gym clothes all packed in your bag, that's going to save you that headache tomorrow to sort of like remember and also like to pack the clothes into the bag. Maybe you get hungry in class, so making sure that you have a couple snacks in your bag, that's also very crucial. And I would even go out and lay out the clothes that I'm going to wear the next morning so that when I get up, when I do my morning routine, I don't have to stress about, oh no, like I don't know what clothes to wear. Should I wear this or should I wear that? It just takes out all the guesswork and the next morning. And so once the preparation is all done, typically what I like to do is to just shower, brush my teeth, make sure I floss, and just to get your hygiene in order so that you can go to bed and feeling fresh and get a good night's sleep. After I shower, I like to journal and write down a couple of things that I'm grateful for. I think this just really helps to wind down my day and sort of like also reflect on like what's happened today. If you don't journal, you can skip to the next step, but I'm planning on making a video next on how to journal. Alright, the next section is sort of a rant, but I really want to talk about not hitting the snooze button. 9 out of 10 people that I ask will say that they sleep past their first alarm. Their alarms are all lined up within minutes of each other and they want to get some extra minutes of sleep, and so that's why they do it. But I'm sorry, but it just sounds stupid to me because the quality of your sleep after your first alarm is like going to be so minimal just because like you're already awake. So you're like procrastinating your time like getting up. So you're just like starting off your day like catching an L right off like the bat. When you hit that snooze button, it's like saying that I will procrastinate in getting my day started. I lack the self-discipline and the accountability to even get up. I want to say that it is 100% possible to change the trajectory of your life. I used to be an addicted video gamer and I would go to bed at like very irregular hours and I would get up at like 6, 7 a.m. for school and I would snooze, I would like set multiple alarms. And at one point I would even like sleep past my alarms and I would just tell my parents that like, oh no, I overslept my alarm, guess I can't go to school. And then I would just not go to school for that entire day. But now I get up the first time my alarm rings. How powerful do you think that is? Being able to take charge of the day immediately when you get up in the morning and not let the alarm dictate when you should get up and to have it constantly blaring out. Which student do you know actively takes control and does that with their sleep? It's just very clear to me that no one really prioritizes their sleep anymore, and it's kind of sad to see, but this is the current world that we live in. I can confidently say this for every person that your sleep will never be perfect, even if it is your full-time job, just because there are always going to be days where you have to stay up, maybe to finish up assignments, or you're going out to hang out with your friends. Those days will always happen, and it's generally to know like what to do when it happens so that you can still like stay up somewhat on track. It should not be the norm to fuck up your sleep every single night, but yes, there's going to be those nights where you have to stay up to finish up the assignment. There's going to be some nights where you have to go out and hang out with friends. My best recommendation is to accept it and to take responsibility for your actions. So yeah, go ahead and just like, raise your hand and say, yes, I'm going to go out tonight. Yes, I have to stay up tonight. I'm going to fuck up my sleep, but that's okay. You would just get up at the same time that morning. And the reason that I say that is because your circadian rhythm kind of gets messed up when you wake up at a later time. You will feel this like drowsiness and this tiredness once you like sleep past like your regular wake up time. and you just feel very unmotivated. You just feel very like tired, and you don't really feel like doing any work. And I just don't think that's worth it for the entire day just to like sleep a couple extra hours. And so what I recommend is to get up at the same time regardless, even if you're having a late night, just because that the following night you're going to be able to go to bed early and you're going to feel very well rested the next day. I'm on the mission to educate the next best generation of students, especially by focusing on self-improvement and what it truly means to live a fulfilling life. This video could be the start for you, so I want you to take action.